Alright guys, so here's my greenhouse. Just gonna do a quick plant update. When I went on my school outdoor ed trip, I collected some sphagnum moss, and it used to be at the pot level, and it's growing up like crazy. So I have lots of sphagnum moss, and I cut the tops off and sprinkle it around on my carnivorous plants, like you see there, where I have my Reptiliatus follicularis, and it grows everywhere. So here's some sprouting around, new growth coming out. I had red sphagnum moss, but I guess that was just because of the intense sunlight when I collected it, because now the new growth is all green and that corner is just growing wild. So yeah, that's sphagnum moss. There's quite a few pots. Don't make any mistake, this has sphagnum, but here I have two Drosera spatulas. They're pretty cool, kind of small, but they might get a bit bigger. Hopefully some offshoots will come up and there'll be more. I have another mango seed growing in here. Hopefully that'll sprout soon. What else? Yeah, my Reptiliatus follicularis is doing really good. As you can see, there's lots of new pitchers growing. It's a pretty slow growing plant, but I didn't really notice too much and that there were all these traps and leaves growing, so I'm assuming the plant's healthy. One of the nice red traps did rot back and I cut it off, but the other two look great. You can see. So yeah, it's a very cool plant, and it's pretty easy to care for. Drosera aliciae. Okay. Two small big-mouth Dionea municipula, Dionea municipula, the Venus flytraps. This is actually a small mango tree. It's growing very slowly, but it's doing good, which is good to see. I'm glad. But this is a mango tree. Here's a Drosera capensis alba form, another as well. You may have recalled from a previous video they were more or less dormant because I had them in cold weather or colder climate, and I kept them like that for about a month or two, and then I put them in the greenhouse where it's nice and warm and the new growth has started again. So I was hoping to induce some flowering, but I don't know, right now there's just a lot of new growth. So we'll see what happens. Here we have a Pinguicula morinensis, the Mexican butterwort. It's doing great. One thing I find funny is that there are lots of midge flies that just thrive in here. So it's kind of a pain when you're trying to grow seedlings like here. I'll get to these in a minute. But it's also convenient when you're growing carnivorous plants because they feed a lot of your plants. So yeah. Here's my Pinguicula morinensis, and I am debating whether or not it's the same species, but this little butterwort I guess he snuck his way over with this big one when I first ordered it, or it was just a nice freebie from Keen, aside from my red dragon Venus flytrap downstairs. The thing with butterworts is you have to wash those sticky leaves. They're kind of fragile too. You don't want to really miss that plant either. Anyway, here you may recall my how to pollinate Venus flytrap flowers. This is my result. I have quite a few seeds, as you can see. There we go. That's a nice clear image. Let me just grab the tongs so I can point them out. You can see right there, and right there. There's plenty more, but there you can see this one sprouting. There's one there as well. Of course, that one has sprouted. These are all Venus flytrap seeds. And they're growing they're going pretty well. This is a soil mix. There's a couple over there too, and here. It's a soil mix of peat moss and coarse clay sand. So yeah, they're growing nicely. They're pretty slow growing, and they will be slow growing, but I wanted to try my luck, and it's working, so yeah, I'm very happy about these. Back here is my, I apologize, someone tell me if they know the species or the name. I don't know, but I know it's a Malagasy plant from Madagascar. It's really interesting, just like a lot of Malagasy wildlife, or wildlife from Madagascar. A lot of plants and animals thereof are of course quite unique. But yeah, it looks like a cactus, but clearly it isn't. Here's my Nepenthes rafflesiana. Really nice plant. This was actually grown, or these seedlings were actually grown from seeds. I believe actually it was seed tissue culture from Borneo Exotics, the very largest collection of Nepenthes in the world. They were sent to Keen's Carnivores, and then I ordered one off him. This is the newest picture developing. So yeah, it's doing really good. It's grown quite large. It's grown to quite a beautiful plant. Let's see. Here is what I believe to be a Nepenthes cassiana. This thing is pretty cool. I can rest it on the seed. It's not going to mind, I don't think. So this is a really nice plant, but it's taken ages and ages. Like, when I first bought it, it had 2 pictures like this, okay? And those pictures eventually rotted back. And it had all this new growth, leaf after leaf, and these traps coming down, and, you know, they were long, growing down like this. But no traps were swelling. None of them were actually developing. And now finally, let's see, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, like 7 months later, okay, half a year later, this plant decides, okay, I'm going to make some new traps. So yeah, I've waited all this time, and finally there are new pitches developing. It's a very, very cool plant. You can see these ones are swelling up too. Yeah, it wants to focus on the background. Yeah, let's see if that'll help. Not really, but you can see that some are swelled there, and then these are just thin little ones. So there's at least 3 more traps coming. This is obviously the most developed one. So yeah, that's my, I think, Nepenthes cassiana. So we'll put that back. The Nepenthes the Nepenthes sanguinea is doing good. Doesn't really have any new trap growth, just that one and that one, and nothing really new. Nepenthes ventricosa, lots of new traps coming, lots of leaf growth. Most of the traps are rotting back, except for the one hidden right there under that leaf. So yeah, we're waiting for some traps to swell on this one too. So yeah, that's the greenhouse. Thanks for taking a look, guys. Here are 2 of my very large Nepenthes mirandas, and they're also not producing any pictures right now. But like I said, they're very large plants. When I first purchased them, you may recall in a picture in one of my plant videos, they had traps that were about 1 foot long each, so they were beautiful.